when shading with color, it's important to color with more than just one color pencil. So you want to have at least 3 or 2. 3 is best. It helps if you refer to your color wheel, have 2 colors that are analogous or side by side. Hence, you'll notice the yellow and orange are kind of close together, and then have one color that is opposite of those. So in this case, I have yellow, orange, and then I have this kind of purpley blue. You're gonna use the yellow and orange for light tones and mid-tones, and then you're gonna use the opposing color or complementary color to do the shading. So I'm just gonna demo on just this sphere here, and the rest of them you can try to do on your own. So always start with your lightest tone first. So I'm gonna use my pencil. Notice how I'm holding my pencil like this. It's up to you how you wanna hold it. Holding it so that the pencil is almost flat with the paper makes it easier to shade, because then you're using the long part, not the tip of your pencil. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna first cover this. It's okay to leave like a highlight. I'm gonna say my light's coming from this direction. So I'm gonna leave like a little highlight of white here, and the rest of it I'm gonna fill in with color, just using loops and pressing very lightly. I don't wanna press super, super hard yet. When it comes to using color, it helps if you start with very soft or light values first, and then work your way up to those darker values. So you're just establishing those values. Notice that I'm going over areas multiple times, trying to get a nice smooth consistency to the color. Whenever you are pretty satisfied with how you have your values, then what you want to do is you're going to start applying pressure where it's going to be darker at. So if this is where the light's at, the shadow should be on the opposite of the light side. So once I am fine with the color that I have here, I'm going to go ahead and press a little bit harder, closer to the bottom, just so I can go ahead and start establishing that darker value. Once I am satisfied with this, then I'm going to switch to my next color, which is my analogous color. So the orange is a little bit darker than the yellow, so that's why I'm picking this for my secondary shadow. So this one, I'm not going to go as far, but I am still going to use the same technique of holding it sideways. And then I'm going to very lightly at first, using those same techniques, using little circles, only shade in the parts that I want to be a little bit darker, using little light loops like this. Avoiding the area that has the highlight. I want to leave that perfectly white or perfectly light. So I'm not going to allow the orange to get up in that area, but I will allow the orange to get a little darker or more solid closer to the bottom edge of that sphere, just using those little loops. And the furthest edge is going to get the super, super dark area as well. So just shading along using those same round techniques in order to make sure that it's getting nice and smooth. Whenever you finish up with your dark area, you want to kind of fade it out into the lighter area. You can do that by very lightly doing loops with this. You can also work back and forth between your 2 colors. Here I'm going to go back over this with my yellow a little bit on those softer edges, just to kind of soften that up a bit to make that blend a little easier. So you can utilize your lighter color to help blend in your darker color. Once you're satisfied with that, then you're going to do the last color is going to be your darkest value. Use this minimal, so very little amounts of this will be used. And it's only going to be used in the absolute darkest areas. So I'm just going to very lightly color that darkest area with my third color. This third color is usually complement that allows your shadows to really pop, and it makes it look a lot more colorful. I'm switching my hand grip because I want a little bit more control, because I'm keeping this kind of small. So I want to use that tip of the pencil instead of the side of the pencil. Once I have established my darkest area, then I can switch back over to the side of the pencil and kind of fade that out just a little bit. I don't want that to go into the light area. I only want it to go about halfway up into that medium area. And then I can push those darkest values even darker just by applying a little bit more pressure with my color pencil. Once I am fine with that, then I'm gonna work my way back to my colors. I'm gonna do my orange again, going back over that color. And you can press a little bit harder, a little bit lighter if you need to. Once you have gone over with your medium value, then you're gonna finish it up by going over with your lightest value. So now that I have the start value, I'm going to finish it up by going over it with my lightest value. So notice the lightest value is going to go over the dark area and the medium area, and then work its way back into, oh, my pencil broke, it's okay, back into that other area. That way you get a nice rich color that's not flat. So that's how you're going to be shading with your color pencils. All right. Do the best you can. You can use different colors for the background, or you can use the same colors, but pretend this is, look at your black and white reference and then do that with each of these. Just make sure that you are using color instead of black and white. All right, good luck. If you have any questions, just ask.